Another week of conversations here at SOS. We have had everything in here this week, and it's some of the topics are quite interesting. So the first one, the Ashes, both male and female, it's going to be close, and I think that's what everyone was looking at, that the sides are fairly even in every format they play, especially the men's in the Test and the ladies in all the formats they play. So, whoever wins is going to be pretty lucky, I think. The NRL is another topic of conversation, and it's the business end of the year, and I'm hoping that the teams that are in the bottom half don't go to sleep and don't give up, which is tough because it's a long season, and the last thing you want to do is turn up every week and be smashed. But you never know, you might actually get a win, and that'll be good for next year's confidence and next year's playing roster and potentially next year's contracts. Love where you live is a big thing that we promote here. And we're probably luckier than most people on the planet because we live here in the Bega Valley. Some may not agree, and I'm okay with that. But, in Bega, you've got beaches within 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and it's just absolutely sensational. So, doesn't matter where you live, love it. All right, if you don't love it, move. Diets and supplements, or diets first off, and we'll talk about that. Once again, there is no one best diet. The big thing for us here is, whether it's keto or low carb or low fat or high fat or, all the sugar or none of the sugar. The things that we promote, the things that we like our clients to do here is understand the importance of protein on satiety. So on those hunger, all right? From there, make sure you add some veggies to your plate. And the big thing that we go with is if you train, get your carbs in, all right? So get your rice, get your pasta. Make sure, if you can, make sure it's whole grain. But there's some whole grains material, we have to be careful when we use words, that is not as palatable as others. So, add whatever you need to add to it. Supplements is a big thing that we do not push. All right? Why? Because we should get enough of what we eat in our food. There's two supplements that I take personally is creatine and a whey protein powder. They're the only things that I take. All right? Why? Because protein is for power and performance. And, running a school of strength, that's what you need. And protein powder to get that little bit of extra protein in during the day, and especially after a heavy session. On that very subject, we need to remember that sugar is not the enemy. And while I'm on that subject, neither is fat. So every single food company that's out there, especially the multinational ones and the multi-food environment ones, they employed food scientists to make the food taste as wonderfully as they can, and also make you want to eat as much of it as you can. So I don't see anybody sitting around, with a tablespoon and just hooking into ordinary table sugar, because that's what they don't. And that's what they don't do. So the big thing that when it comes to sugar is the flavour and the way that it is packaged. Okay? Me, sugar, Chicos. Give me a bag and I will eat the absolute end out of it. All right? Fat is the same thing. So you don't see people sitting down eating containers and containers of butter, because it's, pretty yuck. But the thing that we need to remember is it's those two things that's mixed together and with a little bit of salt sprinkled in, that is the stuff we need to be careful of. All right? And we discuss things like sugar tax and, who should be taxed and why should be taxed. And, I'm a firm believer in, not passing off any food, all right? because, you know, you should be able to eat nearly every food you can unless you're a celiac or unless you're actually, you know, going that way from a nutrition point of view. But don't demonise it. It's, you know, sugar and fat's not the enemy. It's when you mix them that is the problem. We had some discussions around music. Best band for me, AC/DC. The second biggest Australian band on the planet. Who's the biggest? The Wiggles. Best song, it really, for me, it comes down to the mood I'm in. So, you know, Solid Rock's probably one of my favourites at the moment. There's a couple of out there, January 26 by AB Original and Dan Sultan, and Like a Virgin of Paul Kelly's Dumb Things. Those three are my three at the moment. Best era for music. All right, being a 69 kid, anything around 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, we're going to actually drive myself and play it as loud as I wanted to. All right. That's not to say that your music isn't better than mine. But all you have to do is look at the charts and to see some of the biggest selling albums, and they are around that time. So for that, enjoy your weekend, folks. Peace out. Stay safe.